The way I study is quite weird.
When I'm doing like exercises, it is absolutely disgusting. Looks like someone threw up on my page.
My handwriting hasn't changed since primary school.
And it's so messy, I can barely read it.
That's my Spanish book.
I do revise sometimes.
And I have an addiction to stationery.
I want to make sure it looks really pretty.
It has to be neat.
I like using pretty colours and pretty highlighters to make it look nice.
I'm just a ridiculous, neat, organised freak.
I'm not the messiest in my class and I'm not the neatest in my class. I'm like, you know, that sort of in between.
My handwriting depends on the day, the lesson, and the type of work. Like if I'm doing vocabs, that's my Spanish book, and you know, it's pretty neat, everything's like nice, colour coordinated. If it's something I'm not going to look back on, I'm not going to waste time highlighting it and making it look neat, because I'm never going to look at it again.
I'm not the neatest person. I'm that type of person that I know where everything is, even though it looks messy to someone else.
I literally do my notes at school and then I come home and redo them all, because if they're not neat, I don't like it. They've all got to be colour coded, they've got to be in a certain order, in a certain box.
I like things organised in subheadings and titles so I know what I'm talking about. I colour code keywords, I make tables, I make mind maps to just condense everything into one. And my handwriting, however, is a different story. This is not even me when I'm rushing. But it's still very cursive and the lettering is not clear.
When I do revision, I try to make it as neat as possible. Like this, for example, which probably isn't the best way to revise. But in an exam, because I'm writing so fast, my handwriting is so messy.
I usually just write massive notes and like a mass of notes and then just highlight them afterward. So this is an example of my notes. It's really bad, but I don't think I've ever found a successful way for me to revise and be completely 100% confident when I go into a test.
I have like two sides of me. If there's a lesson where I just can't be bothered writing anything, I usually just like make my hand do whatever it wants. But usually I really like to write nice neat notes, and I like to highlight quite things that are not really that necessary, but I like it anyway.
It depends sort of what I'm doing. Like if I'm doing practice questions, and they won't be that neat. If I'm like writing notes, then they'll tend to be quite neat and set out and loads of different colours, because then when you come back to it, it looks really satisfying and you're just loving your notes, and that helps learn as well.
I am such a neat student, like literally I take so much care with it, okay? I'll be highlighting something, I have to highlight it with a ruler, that's just me.
On the whole, I'd say I'm quite organised when it comes to revising, because I just write out so much, so I'll have lots of notes in there, or in an organised fashion, so they're not all over the place. So besides my handwriting, I'm pretty good at revising.
If we're meant to put notes down in lessons to revise, it'll probably be quite messy. When I'm at home and I make some revision cards, even though it takes so long, if I take my time on them, they look so neat.
Like with most subjects, I'll take rough notes. For example, this, which I was writing up before. I start doing my tasks, and then I'll copy them up neatly. Like here I have some diagrams, which when I did them in class, looked a lot less cute.
Occasionally my notes are super neat, they're well coloured, I like to highlight them. Sometimes I will write them all down really messily and then I'll come back to them and I will not be able to read what I say.
I'm not like particularly neat, like I haven't really got time to like painstakingly like highlight everything or like colour stuff in or whatever, just because like there's so much to get done that it's just not worth the time. For subjects like psychology, I always type up my notes when I finish a topic, so that does end up being neat, but for like subjects like maths, like it's not going to be that neat.
My note taking is messy, but my work has to be neat. Like I always write my notes up in neat because I can't stand anything being messy.
If I don't make them neat, I refuse to look at them. So here's an example really. I actually really like highlighting the edges and using different colours and stuff for like my keywords.
I think that I'm quite neat when I'm studying because I like to highlight all of the keywords and phrases, and I can always read my handwriting.